Hello. So, I would like to officially say I am pivoting from Bump of the Night over to this game, which is called Amazing Cheese. No, Amazing Mouse. A maze in mouse. An amazing mouse. Mouse in a maze. Yes, I thought it was extremely clever, even though there are hundreds of maze games on Steam, starting with amazing or a maze of some sort. Okay, so let's go over everything. I went over a little bit in the other video, but let's do a lot more in depth. Base kit, you have walking, you have dashing, and you have jumping. And let you on a little secret, if you dash then jump, you actually get a pretty good height. Uh, there's going to be 3 power-ups. You'll get these power-ups in the power-up levels. So right now, this is a tutorial level 1, tutorial level 2, and tutorial level 3. This one teaches you how to move. It's literally just a basic maze to which you can move around in. I haven't put them in yet, but there will be speed up and slow down stuff in this one, just to show you your movement will be affected throughout the game. This one's a little more complicated, but this one is to teach you how to jump. Yay. So there's holes. That's pretty much it. But it's also showing you that, hey, it's a little bit more of a complicated maze. Mazes are going to get a lot more, interesting. This one is going to teach you how to dash. And you can actually interact with stuff when you dash. So, and it's also going to be more complicated. These 3 are your basic, when you think of a maze, you think of these 3. That's why they're the tutorial ones. I had one more that was going to be put it all together, an official tutorial, like end of tutorial level. And it was a lot more complex than this one. But when I was trying to get through this one, I was getting bored because I was like, this is a very big maze, and you can actually get lost in this one. The other 2 you can't really get lost in. So I didn't want my players to get bored or angry or frustrated and drop the game before they even got past the tutorials. So I'm just going to leave this third one as the final one because it is pretty long, it is pretty, complex, and it is pretty annoying. Ooh, wee. Um, so yeah, then there's going to be 3 more tutorial levels, but they're going to be a little different. So you're going to go through each of these little. Once you beat the tutorial, the cage will open up, and these there will be doors on here, and they'll open up. Even though you can actually technically get out, if you get out up onto like here, like from here, you can get out. I'm not going to put any collision. You can go wherever you want. Uh, I love games where you can go wherever you want, where you can cheese what I want you to do, where you can just take shortcuts, glitch out of the game, blah blah blah. I love all that stuff. So I'm not going to put invisible walls unless it's something I just don't want to deal with. Like I don't want to deal with what happens. There's going to be a giant scientist character. He's going to be walking around. So what happens when the scientist character steps on you? Well, if you jump to the ground, I will kill you and I'll just reset you up here. The only reason I'm doing that is because I don't really want to deal with how to get the giant character to step on you. Also, why would you want to jump down? All the stuff is going to be on the tables and whatnot up here. Anywho, there's going to be 3 more tutorial levels. Each of these pathways, each of these cage doors will lead to a path, and it'll lead to the double jump tutorial. And then you have to use double jump to get to a couple more double jump levels just dedicated to double jumping. There's going to be the glide tutorial, to which it teaches all these ones are tutorial levels because they'll give you a temporary power up of the double jump, glide, and shrink. So those are your 3 new powers: double jump, glide, and shrink. And you can only get to pretend there's a table over there. You can only get over there if you glide over there. And pretend there's a little mouse hole right here. You can only get through it if you shrink and go through it. Now, will there be other ways to get over to these places? I mean, once you have glide, it's kind of easy to get to other places. Maybe. I mean, I'm not gonna design it to which the other power-ups will get you across without doing the tutorials first. The design is that you do the tutorials to really learn how to use the power-up, and then use a bunch of different levels dedicated to the said power-up. And then, as you can see, there's one more door. There's 4 doorways. This will lead to the rest of the game, basically. Any level I think of, there's really no theme, rhyme, reason. It's just if I think of a level, it's going to go over there, and then you just get to have fun, go explore, do all these levels. And all these levels are going to be extremely different from each other. So we have the basic, maze levels right here. I have a level where it's an idea where you do kind of a D&D type thing, where you choose a door. There's gonna be like 3 doors. It's like choose your weapon, sword, wand, whatever. You go through one. It's like, okay, now you have +2 strength, +2 defense, +2 magic, whatever. And then you go through another door and then another door, and there's gonna be different options. Like, oh, go to the tavern or go explore the forest. Go fight the ogre or go blah 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 blah. And the idea is it's not really a puzzle game. I mean, it's gonna be a little bit of a puzzle because if you don't stat yourself up properly, you're going to lose to the ogre, for example. It's like if you keep going to the tavern and healing yourself and you don't actually power yourself up, like in any roguelike game, you will get yourself killed at the boss. That is a thing. Then that's the only way that you're going to lose, is if you just don't do it properly. But other than that, it's pretty much a story level. It's not exactly meant to boggle the mind. It's just for entertainment reasons. Yes, I know that animation stops. That animation stops. I don't know why it does that. Like, I do know, but I don't know. If you, basically, if you fall, you'll go into the falling animation, and then that will go into landing animation. But if you jump on something without technically falling, then it will just stick in the falling animation. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So, there are going to be levels like that where they're just purely fun. They're not meant to be challenging. There'll be other levels that are more challenging and less fun. In some of these levels, like the D&D one, where it's kind of more of a niche idea, and not everybody's going to want to go through that. Or if you've already beaten the game, you're like trying to collect stuff, you're 100%ing it, whatever, you might not want to go through a long, boring story multiple times. So, in a case like that, I will put a path of which is basically going to be called the easy path, where I insult you the entire way as a narrator, and you will be able to just leave, basically. It'll just be a bunch of doors, and you just don't take the story path, and you'll just leave. As for that animation freeze, it does not affect you gameplay-wise, only look-wise, so don't worry about that. Anywho, so yeah, that's basically the game. You're a mouse. You're going to go through all these mazes. There's going to be characters in quotes. The only real character is you as the mouse, and then the giant scientist, which is going to be walking around the lab. And he's just going to be like looking at different things. He's not even going to be like interactive. He's literally just there to be like, hey, you're a mouse in a maze in a laboratory. That's it. So let's go through these. Not that one. Let's go through the tutorial. As that was the hub world, you start as a mouse in a cage, and then the tutorial, and then you're out of the cage. So this is level 1, tutorial level 1. It's literally just saying, hey, move with WSAD or the analog stick. If you actually dash and then jump, you can get on top and just cheese your way through this level and the second level. Now, the cheese thing is cool. I thought that was a fun idea because you're a mouse and you're trying to get to the cheese, but you're never getting to the cheese. So it flips in the air and then it falls in the hole, and then you jump in the hole, and then it teleports you back to the hub world. But if you dash into the cheese, and you can, it's very possible, you'll actually collect the cheese, and I'll have some sort of collectible, some sort of reward for collecting the cheese, or the cheese will be currency or something like that. I haven't fully decided on the idea. But you can collect the cheese, which I think will be a lot of fun. So now level 2. Ouchies. When you get hurt, you blink and you just teleport back to where you were before. In other levels where there's going to be harder traps, there's actually, if you hurt yourself, you'll just teleport back to near where you got hurt. Excuse me. You can go into the shop and you can collect another power, which is a checkpoint. You can put the checkpoint down and then you can teleport to the checkpoint, which will also destroy the checkpoint, because I thought there should be a way to destroy it, and I figured, that's a pretty good way. And you can always just teleport back. Now, if you're here and you get hurt, you do teleport to the checkpoint, and the checkpoint does not disappear, because that means I would have to put the checkpoint destruction thing at the end of every trap, and I don't feel like doing that. So the only way to kill the checkpoint is to teleport to it manually yourself. And if you do that, then all the custom save spots that I put, and boom, collect the cheese, throughout the level to help you out, will not work. So you can either use what I've been putting throughout the level, which is, generally like every video game level. I just didn't know how people, when you got hurt, you teleported near where you got hurt. I don't know how people do that in video games, so I literally just put blocks, and I'll show you that in the final level I'll show you in this video. And so you can either use what I'm doing or you can do your own thing. I don't care. There'll be other things that you can buy, like you can turn it into cartoon mode. This was originally how I wanted it to look, but I thought, I actually kind of like the way this looks more than this. So I just gave it to you, so it's just going to be a toggle. So you can have this look if you want, and I think this also looks good. I just think this looks better for me. But I didn't want to deprive the user of this, because I also like the way this looks too. There's mirror mode, just like in the other one. There's going to be skins. Of course, all my skins are meant for Maloop, so, but you get the idea. There's going to be skins. Yeah, let me just show you how you can dash through things. Dash through the door, interact. I might put some breakables. I don't really know if I want to keep breakables. Like, I want to, because like in Crash Bandicoot, those are kind of long linear levels, but you don't get bored because you're constantly jumping over traps and you're constantly breaking crates. So I figured, if I give the player something to break as they're, dashing through here, it will make it so it's less boring. Now, all my other levels are not going to be as boring as the one I'm currently in, because there's going to be a lot more obstacles. The only reason there's no obstacles in this one is because it's a tutorial, and it's just showing you what you can do with the dash. Where is it? This way, I believe. Oh, another thing you can buy in the shop is if you get lost and you really just want to give up and you don't know how to solve the maze, I'm going to put a yellow, like in cartoons where it's a yellow smelly line thing and, the mouse is sniffing the line to smell where to go. That's also going to be in. That's going to be toggled in. I'll probably have it where that also turns off the timer, so you don't get a high score by doing that. Because, the whole point of this game is to beat the level as fast as you can. There will be some stuff to collect. There will be skins. There will be other stuff like that. But I've been playing a lot of maze games off of Steam to see, what should mine be like, what is the competitions like, what is already out there, blah, 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 that kind of idea. One that was out there, oh yeah, you can zoom in and out, was a first-person maze game, which which button is it? You can do with mine. If you like the first-person idea, you can do that too. But you had to collect a bunch of coins. Well, it was collectibles. I think it was coins and diamonds or something. But you had to collect like 8 different things inside the maze before you could leave the maze. And I kept finding the end of the maze before collecting everything. And some of their mazes were really hard, really difficult, really annoying, and really confusing. So I was like, I really don't want to be running through this maze, trying to find something. 8 trying to find 9 different points in the fucking maze. It's fucking boring. So, my mazes, you can run through them. You can collect some stuff. There will be some collectibles throughout. I will not make it mandatory. I will not collect all 100 different coins in the maze, but I will have that kind of stuff if you just want to explore the maze more. Because, like I said, the traditional maze, which is what this is only going to be in the tutorials. And I mean only like these tutorials. The other tutorials, the double jump, hover, and shrink tutorials, aren't going to be like this. They're going to be more like the aquarium level I'm building. Where, yes, it is a maze, but it's kind of more of a cool maze. Now, this is definitely more of a maze because you are still running in a straight line and you can't jump over the wall. But it's still more, you can see through the walls. There will be a bunch of obstacles, which I'll show you I'll show you all the obstacles right here. These little black things are checkpoints. Because if you jump in the water, then you'll die. And I needed you to go somewhere right here. So, here's one, an electric thing. And then you can, and there'll be fish swimming around outside. And that's kind of what this level's for. This level is meant to be more of a shock and awe type deal. It's meant to be, that's very tranquil, very cool type of deal. So yeah, if you jump in the water, you get sent back here. If you put your... Actually, I don't know what happens if you put... Oh, it just keeps it in one spot. Okay, don't put it on a moving platform then. That's okay, you can move it around very easily. I didn't think about what happens when you put it on a moving platform. But yeah, this is a double jump level, so you are meant to be double jumping. Like up here, for example. No, I missed. Anyways, moving on. So yeah, this is meant to be like a cool, because the idea is like in Meg, you know those shark movies, the Meg, there is the scene with the little girl who is looking out at the ocean, and then a shark comes by, and it's the evil shark, and it bites the bubble area, and that's kind of what this is supposed to be. Like a shark will come up and look at you, or it's gonna be a giant squid, and its eyes gonna blink and swim away, or something like that. But that's what this dead end is meant to be. It's gonna have something swim over here, and you can kind of look at it. But that's what this entire level is meant to be. It's kind of like an underwater laboratory type deal. And you can just look out across it and look into the ocean. I need to put bubbles out there. I need to put like other underwater stuff. But this is also meant to be like very deep in the water, so you're not going to see the ground, but you will see a bunch of fish. How will I animate the fish? Well, my plan is just to export all these models out, because they're all models that you just stick together. Export all this out, put it in Blender, have the fish swim around it, like a custom animation, and then put the custom animation in this, and it should line up pretty well. But yeah, I really like this. I really like one idea is up here is the lookout tower. So the idea is to climb, if you want to climb to the very top, you can come up here and kind of look out and see, oh, the cheese is right there. This is kind of how it looks. Your view is a little distorted with the glass material, but that's all right. And I also like the idea that when you start the level, you're actually facing the cheese. The cheese is over there, and you're kind of looking, oh, how do I get to that cheese? And there's only one way to go, but there's all these different tubes running around. I also want to add in some distraction tubes or decoration tubes, where there are tubes that you can't actually run through. I might put like a little mouse in there and kind of have the mouse be running through it on a constant animation. But it's literally like one tube's going to be wrapped around here as a constant animation. It's not one you're it's not one you're supposed to go to or touch. It's just one to kind of make it a little harder to figure this out. So it's like, oh, well, where's that tube going? Oh, it's a tube that doesn't go anywhere. Okay, cool. So, and like I said, it's kind of boring to just run through here. Oh, fish is nice, but it's really boring to just run through here. So there are going to be obstacles. There's this right here. This little spot. You'll get hurt by these little blades. You'll get hurt by these electrical things. You'll get hurt by this thing. And yeah, it just makes it makes your brain start thinking and makes it a lot more entertaining to go through. There will be a skin, if you actually jump down here into the fog. Where is it? You put your trust in yourself and you jump into the fog. I'll put a skin over here, and then I'll put a teleporter back to the surface up here as well. I just thought that was cool. The fog, I mean, I don't know. I just like that idea. And then there will also be a couple of these rooms. So I haven't created all the rooms, but basically this is a squash room. And the way you get through it is you're supposed to be jumping through it, dashing through it. And then you can kind of barely make it. Like, oh no! Although there is a glitch with this one, which is weird. If you get squashed from this one the first time, you don't get hurt. But if you go out and you go back in, you will get squashed and you will get hurt. And I don't get it. I thought it was because it's at an angle, and for some reason that messes it up. And as you saw with the previous one, you do get hurt on the first try when it's flat and normal. But this one is also at an angle. A little bit steeper angle, but still at an angle. And you still get hurt. So I don't know exactly what's wrong with that one over there. But I also think it's kind of funny, so I can be like, oh, you only get hurt once. Oh man. Well, that's a bit of a glitch, but whatever. I got hurt because it still did the thing, but it didn't activate the animation because the animation wasn't finished. So I have to go in and make sure that it can only be activated. The trigger can only be activated when the animation isn't playing. Anyway, so you can come over here. This is a... I want to put something here. Something like to collect, maybe a skin or something. Just so you have a reason to come over here. Only reason I have this is because... I couldn't cap something off. I don't have a piece where it's just this. So I had to put it over here, and I didn't just want to cap it off. So I put it down here, and I was like, okay, well, what if you go this way and that way, and, you know, jump down here, and then it'll actually bring you over here, and then you can go up and jump on these little platforms to get back up here, yada, yada, yada. There are some spots like this. So when you put all these tubes, they're all modular. I think that's the word for it, modular. Let me show you. See how they just snap, crackle, and pop? They just snap together. So that's really hard to do when you're trying to connect a piece like from here all the way to like here. So instead of, and that's what I want to do, I want to connect this to this. But if you just make a line, it's not going to connect perfectly. So that's why I have this. Because this can be connected and then the walkway is still good. Same with up here. It can get connected and the walkway is still good. And this is just a single piece of glass. So as long as it's tall enough to have these, the single piece of glass can go up and down. It can get bigger and smaller. And then just put these little platforms in. And then you're good to go. So anyways. I think that is about it. That's everything to show you. This is one of the first levels. I'm getting a lot done. What I had to get done in 3 months of the first one, I got done in 3 weeks. Because a lot of it's just copy-paste from what I learned from the Bump of the Night game. But I believe there's nothing left to show you. So, yeah. The first demo is going to come out. So the first couple tutorial levels are finished. The first 3, like I said, I just need to put the I need to create like mud or something to slow you down, and there's gonna be like the first idea was coffee, but now I kind of want to make it look like cocoa, just because I like cocoa and I don't like coffee. Um, and if you collect that, that'll speed you up, and they'll actually give you a fun little kind of a fun little thing where maybe say the cocoa, say there's a big jump right here, and you're trying to, you're trying to get that jump, but you need the movement speed, so you go collect the cocoa, and then you get that movement speed, and then you can make the big jump. So I kind of want to create events like that. Um, yeah. So once that other than that, the first 3 tutorial levels are completely finished. This one was probably going to take me another couple weeks if I focus on it. I have other things in my life I got to get done. But yeah, if I just straight up focus on this, then I'll get all that done. There's a couple more things I want to get, like where's those? Oh, so the rooms like this, I want to create like 2 or 3 more of these so I can put them. You see how there's like a couple of these straight line things? I want to put them there. I want to put more, corridors like this where you got to jump around. I want to keep some boring corridors because, again, the whole idea of this is to look out into the environment and see all the fish and really feel like you're underwater. So I do want to keep some boring parts where you can just kind of run through and look around as you're running through. I don't even know why that's still there. But other than that, I got to make sure that it's still challenging enough so people don't get too bored. Because let's face it, maze games aren't the most exciting thing in the world. So I got to make sure that you guys don't get bored, don't put down my game, but also not getting too frustrated from either the challenge or just the monotonous of it. Anyways, I'll get this done. I want to get a couple more levels done before the first demo. And then in the first demo, I'm going to have it where you just have all your powers and just go throughout the game and just get a good feel for it. With I'll probably get 2 more levels done and have that then put out a demo. And that just be like, hey, take a look at this, see what it's like, see if you like it type of deal. The full demo is going to be my favorite levels. I'm probably going to get the full demo finished before the entire game is finished, only because, like in the hub world, I want it to be empty, I still want it to be there, but I also want it to be empty. Something to show like, oh, or like blocked off. Something where it's showing like I still want the other stuff around so you can be like, oh, well, what's over there? Something to look forward to in the main game, but also you're kind of going to be confined to this one cage because the entire idea is it's a demo. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the tutorial levels where they're supposed to be down here, and then up here I'm going to have other levels to be placed. The main demo one might have like 5, like 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and then 1 in the middle, along with these tutorial levels. And maybe a sign that says other levels upstairs, because maybe people won't always look up. But you'll be locked in the cage, and I might put in invisible walls for the. I might not put invisible walls. Why not? Because just the level will be empty. There won't be any other levels in here. But still, why not like run around, look, see what the main game could offer. But I also want to get the demo out as fast as possible, so I can, so you guys maybe be generous, donate to my Patreon after I get that set up, or just donate. Find my CG Trader, find my Redbubble, all those other links to stuff where you could actually buy something from me. That way, you're not just donating; you're actually like getting something out of it. Besides, like, oh, one step closer to making this game possible. So yeah, but yeah, the demo won't be out for a little bit, but it will definitely come out faster than the other one. I just want to get a couple levels done so people don't just look at these levels and be like, oh man. They can actually look at what my ideas are, how different, how how much of a variety these levels will be. It's not just going to be a maze game. It's going to be like an obstacle course. It's going to be like a 3D platformer. It's going to still be a maze. You still got to get through and do some puzzles and whatnot. But I don't want the levels to exactly look like a hedge maze. I want it to feel like if you could go through a maze without realizing it's a maze, or at least without feeling like it's a maze, that's kind of what I want out of this game. Also, this is a learning game. I'm trying to figure all this stuff out. I learned how to do the wheel. I learned physics-based stuff. That made me very happy. I'm learning. I've got all these things I'm learning. Here's the spinning blades. Here's the electrical field. Here's the door. Here's the wall crushing. I'm learning all this stuff, all these mechanics, and that's basically what this game is supposed to be. It's supposed to be learn how to make a 3D platformer. That way, my next game, or maybe I'll just go back to the Bump of the Night game, I'll actually know what I'm doing. All right, so y'all have a good one. See you next time.